Hello, everyone, and welcome to my weekly Q&A podcast. I'm Tina Spangler with TLC Barrels in Keystone Heights, Florida. I'm coming to you a day early. It is just 2 days before Thanksgiving, so a lot of you are probably on Thanksgiving break already. If not, you may have a long weekend ahead of you. So it's, the November 25th of 2025. This is episode 276. And for YouTube, it will be number 21. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Whew, what a week, huh? First, let me say I've never had this happen in 5.5 years of my online coaching group. Monday is usually my most busy day with video critiques. This Monday, zero videos to critique. So that tells you how concerned the barrel racing community is with the EHV and breakout that's neurological EHM. So as of Monday at 3 o'clock, the EDCC, Equine Disease Center Control, announced 29 positive horses in 8 states, all stemming as of Monday the 24th from the Waco, Texas outbreak. So horses left the finals for the WPRA and went to many states after that, which would expose many other horses. And they even went to the BFA in Oklahoma after that. So I think there was under 1,000 at the WPRA finals, but over 1,000 at the BFA. So I think that's why the caution was so much, because everybody dispersed and went to so many states. As you can see from just that one event, it's linked to 8 states in just a week's time. So basically, there's plenty of great information for anybody to review it if you want to, so I won't do it today. But I do want to say that for me to have 0 videos tells me that A, you're all concerned about your horses, and B, from the East Coast to the West Coast, because we're in 33 states, have shut down. And they're barrel racing, and people have opted to stay home, which is really smart. So that's definitely an awesome thing. I feel like we all need to hug our horses a little tighter right now, because these horses go where we ask them to go in the horse trailer, and they do what we ask them to do at whatever events we go to, whether it's for a trail ride with a group of people or going to a barrel race or a jackpot, a super show, a rodeo. They just do it for us, and we're their caretakers. I truly believe God's put us in care of them. And as cowgirls and cowboys for our horses, there would be no cowgirl or cowboy without the horse. So I'm glad that everybody's putting them first. So let's see here. I do think this is a time of year definitely to count your blessings and relax with your family and friends. Also, just keep things simple. Don't worry about the things you can't control. Worry about just what you can, or not worry about it, but just deal with what you can and not worry about what you can't. Do have some new members to welcome to the group, Laura and Shayla from Florida, and Jocelyn from Florida. So I did cancel my December 14th clinic. It wasn't full. It was only half full. So, or less than half actually. So I ended up to just cancel it because it'd be highly unlikely to fill it in this time, and it wouldn't probably be the safest option to do for the 14th. So I'll resume clinics in January. I have one that's full. I'm pretty sure it's full as long as all the deposits come in by next week. And that one's in Crystal River. It's a private clinic. And then I have another one after that. So hopefully we'll be back to business. A lot of people that do this for a living, they're losing income. So that can be hard on people, but you got to do the right thing to make this last the least amount of time. The other thing is the NFR going on right now. That's 10 days away, maybe 9 days away. So they have a lot of things going on with that. And that's very fluid right now, getting across borders and quarantining. And I don't feel like this is going to be an easy choice for the NFR riders, because whether you're a steer dogger or steer wrestler, a calf roper, a team roper, bucking horses, barrel racers, to which many barrel racers bring multiple horses. they've tried to cut out events around it, like they canceled the breakaway finals. I know a lot of them are a little disappointed they got canceled, but the PRCA-WPRA didn't for the barrels. But they're trying to do the smartest and best things they can. So, and I can't imagine for the barrel racing contestants, you have to really trust that every other person quarantined like they should have, and that the vets are getting the best information when they test them, the days before. And, they're going to do temperature taking twice a day and, try to keep it down to, I think, 100 or 120 horses, no grand entry. So it's going to be a different kind of NFR. So in the group, I asked if you would still want to do, because this will be the 6th year that we have a fantasy, so I see where my brain's at, a fantasy barrel racing rodeo team for the NFR. And what I mean by that is for the 15 teams going, to which I'm still not sure who took Anita's place. Anita's number 8. She was in ICU after a horse accident. I believe she gets to go home today or yesterday. And I don't know if that moves Julie up into her spot, the number 16 person. So again, these are all things I don't know. Or if they'll just run it with 14. I don't know how that's going to work. So anyhow, I guess we'll all find out as time goes. And the next thing, though, about the thing is you pick your favorite team. And I'm going to go over the details soon. But I decided to go ahead and go along with it because I put a poll in the group and there was 100% votes to have it. And because I put in there, yes, have it, just to be positive and encouraging for the competitors. And also it gives us something to look forward to. Or no, it doesn't feel right to be, doing that right now. And nobody picked the no. So what I'm doing a little different this year, and I'll post it in the group, is it's going to be basically of the 15 teams, you pick the rider you think will win the most go-arounds or place in the most go-arounds for a point. So it's first place of each 10 go-arounds. So it's going to be really who really succeeds at the Thomas and Mack. You can look at the stats and see who had the least rodeos, the most rodeos, which I'll talk about soon. But we're going to give first place $40 or 2 months free in the group. And then the second drawing I'm going to do 2 drawings of the winning team. So let's say Cassie's team wins. I'll pull one name. They'll get $40 or 2 months free in the group, and I can send it to you in an app. Second drawing will get $20 or 1 free month in the app. So it's just my little Christmas bonus to the group for being members all year. And it's my way of having some fun and giving back to the group. So it's just an extra added bonus at the end of the year that I like to do. And I think it's fun because we always look forward to the NFR. And this year, I think I wouldn't want to be in these ladies' shoes with the choices they have to make. But I think they're putting faith in God and their vets and, the other riders, contestants, and the care that they're all giving their horses. And hopefully the incubation is 21 days. So hopefully everyone will be well past that. I don't necessarily think that would be true for the BFA people that might have went to the BFA, but it would definitely be for Waco. So anyhow, it's a lot going on. So we will also do a quick Bible study week 4 at the end of this podcast. Topic today is December's challenges. I already posted on Monday a couple videos of them, but I'm going to talk to you about the training challenge and also the mindset challenge for this month today. Let's see, because everything's shut down for 2 weeks possibly of no barrel racing, I can't afford to give everybody refunds for this month, but you can still send me videos training, doing any kind of drills or barrel work. You can also request a free video lesson where you would be on your horse in your arena and you get an hour of my undivided attention watching you ride your horse and answering your questions instantly. That's a $30 value, which I'll give you 1 free if you'd like in the next 2 weeks while things are shut down. So I would be happy to do that for anybody who's interested. And still, please keep JJ and Dave in your thoughts and prayers, and our heart goes out to them. Briscoe, I lost her a year ago, so I know that pain, as many of us have lost horses that we love in the past. It's never an easy thing, and hopefully we can get enough time goes by, you can just focus on the good memories, and thankful that we had them at all. But anyhow, very, very, very sad and very hard. So that's why I'm glad people are taking it serious. And that's part of the reason I wasn't sure if we wanted to do to the Fantasy Barrel NFR Barrel Racers game, because it's a game in a time that's kind of stressful. But I took the poll, and right now all the votes are positive. So we're just going to go with it then. So let's see here. There are definitely a lot of unknowns, but let me go ahead and get into the questions for this week. Let's see if I missed anything in my notes. Okay, and then I'll get into the topic and then the Bible study, and then we'll close in. So close up. And then let's see here. For the first question is, what would you recommend to support your horse's immune system during this time, and possibly at any time? So I believe in a strong foundation. And I personally think if you're giving them good quality hay, but then you're making sure that you're giving them a solid vitamin and mineral supplement, you're going to cover all the things that are not going to be in the hays, or that get messed up in the feed by over processing and heat processing and things like that. So I've used Dynamite Foundation, and it's you can just use the Dynamite pellet 1 ounce a day, which has all your amino acid, vitamins, and minerals. And then there's DynaPro, which is a probiotic, and it gives good food to the good bacteria for the horses to keep their gut healthy. I think they say 70% of the horse's immune system comes from a healthy gut. So I think that's very important. And then, of course, there is TNT if you didn't want to do the Dynamite. The difference between Dynamite and TNT is it adds the joint supplement in there. So it's all in one, basically. And that's about a cup a day. So, and you can feed it. You don't have to feed it with feed. You could give them a cup of senior or something if you wanted to, or a beet pulp, a high fat, low starch feed if you wanted to just mix it in with your vitamins. But you can just use a hay pellet, like a Timothy pellet or something. I do feed ONA hay, orchard alfalfa, personally. But I just think as long as you're doing things like that, good quality hay and all of that, you're doing right by your horses. So anyways, I'm sorry, I was trying to look at the time. So I put a picture of it in my link. I can order it for you wholesale, and if you like it, and then you just pay me via app, and it'll ship direct to you if you want to try it. There are a few members like Barbara Calhoun and Ashley Odom, and I think Penny's on it. There's a few others in the group that are on it. Jeannie's been on it. There's several that use it in the group. I just can't think of them all right this second. So the next question is about riding with your body more, and what does that mean? So I believe in 80% should be your body. Where you look is where you go. So you want to look exactly where you want your horses to go, in a straight line, maybe a couple strides ahead, in a circle, a quarter turn ahead, or in a turn, a quarter turn ahead, until you're looking up for your next barrel or next where you're going next. But your hips and your shoulders and your seat are considered your body. So when you're going straight with your shoulders and hips, that's for your straight line. When you turn your shoulder and hip a little, that tells your horse to start their turn. When you really look and sit back with your inside hip and shoulder more, that tells your horse to snap out. And then when you get up with your shoulders and your inner thighs, that tells your horse to drive out. So your body can be used for rate, square, going into a turn. Square means front and back feet on the same track. Shoulders and hips are square on you and your horse. To start your turn, which would mean just a little bit, a quarter turn of shoulder and hip turning. And then snap would be a lot of inside hip and shoulder. And driving out would be a little bit of shoulders forward and, lifting or going forward on your inner thighs and your core. So again, for rate, turn, snap, and drive, your body would be 80% of your riding. And then you just back that up with your hands, your legs, and your voice as needed. So timing is important, feel is important, and the way that you get better with speed, with timing and feel, is have it automatic in your slow work at a walk, trot, lope. And then the more time you spend in the saddle, the more time you spend entering and hauling or making speed runs, the better your timing and feel will get. So the next question is, what cinch do you recommend versus when you're trail riding, maybe a long trail ride versus just a short 30-40 minute exercise? That's a really good question because neoprene can get really hot on horses. And if you're going on a 2-hour trail ride, I would stay away from your neoprene cinches that you might use for barrel racing or short rides at home. And I would go to something more natural like a sheepskin wool type cinch. It's not going to hold as much heat. It'll be more comfortable for the horse for the long ride. And I like the buckles protected by that material as well. So I don't like mohair cinches. The buckles are on their skin. The only time I'd use a mohair is if my horse is allergic to the felt or the wool, the sheepskin. And try to go with natural if you can versus a synthetic, I think is better too. But just whatever you can do that's best for your horses. Comfort in every horse is going to be a little different. The next question is about how often do you replace your equipment. So this is a great time while you guys have some downtime to check all your equipment. And I mean, underneath your saddle, check your latigos, your on and off billets, all those things. If it's leather, replace it. Or oil it. If it's nylon, it's over a year or so, you might want to replace those too. Nylon seem to last longer than leather, but leather can dry rot and crack. So definitely check it. Head stalls, check your Chicago screws, check your, just everything. But at least once a year replace, and at least twice a year, polish and condition. That would be good. You may not have to replace once a year if you don't ride as much or only on one horse, but if you're riding a lot and more than one horse, you might need to replace more often. So keep those things in mind. So for the topic for today is the December challenges. The skill is going to be the horseshoe drill. There's 2 options and 2 ways to do it. One is for the lazy or laid back type horse, and you want to maintain more forward motion. You would do the horseshoe drill with a post trot, and then you could actually go into a sit jog into the circle. So let's say you're doing the horseshoe, and I put a diagram and videos in the group. Then you'll do 2 left turns, and then just come out of it back into the horseshoe, post trotting, and then sit jog 2 right ones, then come out of it back into horseshoe lope 2 lefts, come out of it, break to a trot or flying lead change into the right, and then 2 rights, and then come back down, break to a trot or a flying lead change back to a left, and lope 2 lefts, and then come back down and stop in the center of the horseshoe and pet your horse. You can do sets of 3, so you could trot 3 sets, post trot, sit jog 3 sets, you could lope 3 sets. It depends on your horse's conditioning. You could quit after the first or second set as well, just depending. But the horseshoe drill is a wonderful drill for whether it's a young horse learning how to carry itself and do the things like rate and shape, keep collection with lateral bend but forward motion, as well as drive out and extend their stride. So it has everything you'd want in a barrel run in there. The second The second option is more for the free runner horse, or maybe a horse that's a hotter horse. So you would do the same thing, except after your 2 circles, you would do the 2 left circles, stop, roll back towards your fence, and then go out to your horseshoe, do 2 circles to the right, stop on the fence, roll back towards the fence. So if you're right circles, you roll back left, left circles, you roll back right. And then there's a video for that as well. That would work on more stopping and rollbacks for the hotter horse or the more free runner, to encourage more listening to the stopping and using their hindquarters for rollbacks. So you can do either option. Send a video of you doing it at a trot or a lope or even a walk, and you'll be entered in the training challenge for December. So far for November, we don't have that many personal bests. I think there's maybe like 6 or 7. And then no doubt because of the shutdown is going to slow that down. And then I think 6 or 7 did the training challenge for November. So you still have a week left to send in your training challenge video for November for the drawing. The drawing, you win a free month or a prize out of the prize post. And then, so the horseshoe's a skill. For the mindset is going to be, and for November, you should already know this, but it's the rib cage control and one-handed drills, like all lefts, all rights. And then for mindset for December is 3 things. 1, be fearless. What is there that you could do to be more fearless? Something that's maybe, you've been on your mind. What can you do to be more fearless? That's one thing you can do for December. The second thing is say yes to something new. People ask us to do things all the time, and a lot of times we say no or we're busy or whatever, but say yes to something new if you can this month. And then number 3, do one thing out of your comfort zone. And I don't know what that will be for you, and everybody's different, and maybe it'll be with your horse, maybe not. But getting out of your comfort zone is how we grow. And so do something like that as well. So those are 3 things that you could do for your mindset this month. Be fearless, say yes to something new, and do one thing out of your comfort zone. And the 2 and 3 may actually end up being the same thing, or all 3 in one. Who knows? All right. So I want to go ahead and mention this is going to be a short podcast because I don't really have a lot of questions that came in this week. I think everybody's getting ready for the holiday. So I've been using this for the Bible study, Dr. Kimberly D. Moore, and we'll do 52 weeks in a year of the Bible. Do the Bible in 52 weeks. So if you're doing it with me, you're going to be reading, Exodus 19 all the way to Exodus 40. That will be this week's, and it's called Thank God for the Crushing, which really is kind of appropriate right now for this week, because there are people that have, their horse in the hospital or lost a horse, and really life is like that. It's full of ups and downs, highs and lows. And so Exodus 30 to 32 is the main part of what the questions are that I'm going to be reading here in a moment. So I'm getting organized here. In chapter 25 through 27 of Exodus, God instructs Moses how to set up the holy tent. And chapters 28 and 29 tell us the plans for the priest and attire, and God was specific about that. Exodus 30, God gave Moses his own recipe, goes on. And then most of us have been crushed in some way, as I mentioned. We've been crushed, whether it be in relationships, in jobs, in marriage, even in ministry. But unbeknownst to us, during those crushings, God was actually strategically anointing us for his service. The struggle that you experienced financially stretched you. The problems you endured with your spouse truly devastated you. The issues you encountered on your job put a strain on you. However, it was during the times that you found yourself learning and depending on God in a way that you hadn't before. Those times forced you to, those times forced you, I lose my spot, to increase your time of prayer and found yourself talking to God more each day. The crushing did not feel good, but it was necessary to equip you and develop the anointing you needed to carry out the assignment on earth. So when you feel the stress and strain of life, just know that it will not last forever. Like they say, this too shall pass. And it is not in vain. Although the crushing can be uncomfortable, God uses it to develop the oil needed to set us apart so that when others experience our ministries or gifts, it will be evident that God's hand is upon us. Don't despise the crushing. Thank God for it. I feel like for me, I had a time in my life where things were so easy there's always something going on, but there was a time in my life when I was a mom and a barrel racer, a competitor and a trainer, that I knew my role, and it went on for those many, many years from Colorado to Louisiana to Florida. But then it was when my son graduated high school, went to college, was my first shocking moment. I didn't think empty nest would be hard for me because I had my horses and my hobbies and my husband and everything. And then my husband asked for the divorce. And then after that, I had 3 years on my own at my old ranch, and all the stress that came with the big ranch and the big mortgage, and my hip went bad. So that affected my income of training horses. And then the move. So like 2015, 2016, 2017, my son graduated, the divorce, Irma, Hurricane Irma, lost my favorite Jack Russell. 2017, 2018 was actually an easier year. I was doing all right on my own. Business was good, but 2019, my hip got really bad. My ex did some things that didn't help the situation. So I ended up putting the big ranch for sale, moved, and then got set up here. This place, I was able to buy something smaller, pay it off. It was great. So I think, all right, we're going the right. Then the pandemic hits 2020, barely recovered from it financially. 2021. I want to say 2022, get back on my feet. Things are going great. 2023, do the hip surgery. 2024, I think I lost sister in 22, Briscoe in 24. So it's always something, right? You can go back and look at every year and say, oh, something's happened. And then 25 was good financially, business wise, but now this is not good at the end of the year. But you just kind of have, you have those highs and you have those lows. And, like you mentioned with relationships or with losing someone special to you, your job, things like that. There's a lot of things that can happen. So with that in mind, here's the points to ponder for this week after you do your reading. Have you been crushed or stretched in the last year? How did you handle it? Did you pray more or less? Did you go into hiding or did you push to a better place? And I can certainly tell you that it brought me closer to God. Like I saw God in everything, like the pivot of my business, this buying this place, all of those things were God things. And so when you feel like you're alone, because you are, when I moved, I didn't have any help really. I mean, think of all the people I know and stuff. When Rocky was born, though, everybody helped with Rocky. So, but when I moved, it was, my dad, my son, and a couple friends that helped me. It was, you're kind of doing life on your own for the most part. And so, yeah, so God, I feel like it's definitely brought me closer. And I hope that, I think that's the point of the crushing is sometimes through our hard times, it does bring us closer to God so that we can count our blessings more for the good times. So that's the one question. The second question is looking back now, how has God used the time of the crushing for your good? And I certainly think it makes us more, obviously closer to God, but I think it makes us appreciate smaller things, not sweat big, not sweat small things. And maybe it even makes us more kinder and more compassionate to others and what they're going through, having more empathy for that. So the actions for this week are two things. Make a point to pray for someone who is going through a difficult period of crushing. Pray especially for them this week that they will be able to endure the process. Number two, take an action to bring that person solace by sending them a note of encouragement, volunteering to help them, or, maybe just taking them to lunch or something. So that is for this week. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. Even if you don't do it with me, if you don't read the scripture for that week, at least you're hearing this part of it. And maybe I figure, next year, our slogan for the group is faith. And again, faith in God, faith in yourself, faith in your horse, faith in your dreams and goals. Faith is really important. So I think that this kind of just ties into it because it's very mentally encouraging and, very much from the Bible and God's word. And I think it's just another part of your mental game, being strong and being mentally tough. So, and learning from everything. We learn all the time. We learn when we're winning. We learn when we're losing. We learn when we're going through good times, bad times. And sometimes we learn the most through the crushings. So, I want to go ahead and finish with that and just remind everybody that this too shall pass. Good times, bad times, everything is a chapter in a book, and it just continues to ever be fluid. So thank you guys for tuning in. As always, Ride with Heart, God bless, and extra special counting your blessings this week of Thanksgiving. Thank you.